Let's review slope. We'll recall that the abbreviation we use for slope is m, and the basic definition of slope is it is the change in a line's y-coordinates over the change in the line's x-coordinates. It's a ratio, okay? So we used delta y over delta x. Delta means change, so change in y over change in x. So over here, I have a line. I'm going to find my change in y over my change in x. The way I'm going to do that, it has 2 points picked out for me. I'm going to draw in my slope triangle, and I'm going to notice that this line has negative slope, that it is falling from left to right, so it's going to be negative, and then I'm going to count in my slope triangle. Change in y is always up or down, right? That's the vertical change. So the change in y is up and down, so that is 1, 2, 3. So 3 over change in x, that is my horizontal change. I'm going to count that, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 3 over 4. That does not simplify, so the slope of this line is negative 3/4. This line we're going to do the same way. We're going to find our change in y over our change in x. I'm going to notice that this line is rising from left to right, so it has positive slope. I'm going to draw in my slope triangle. Remember, it does not matter if you draw the triangle below the line or above the line, right? Together they form a rectangle, so it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to find my change in y. That's my vertical change. So my change in y here is 1, 2, I can't see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 over my change in x is 2. This does simplify, so this simplifies to 2 over 1 or just 2. When you are finding slope from 2 points, you have a couple of different options. Now, we could plot these points and do what we just did on the graph a couple of minutes ago. That would be a little inefficient. Most of you are probably going to like the mini table. So we're going to make a mini table with my x-coordinate and our y-coordinate. We're going to write them in. 5, 7 is the first point. 6, 3 is the second point. Notice that the x-coordinates go under x and the y-coordinates go under y. We are doing the exact same thing. We're going to find the change in y over the change in x. So here the change in y, to get from 7 to 3, I subtract 4. To get from 5 to 6, this is my change in x, I add 1. So I have negative 4 over 1, which is negative 4. A few of you might like to use the slope formula. The slope formula is a little more complicated just because you have to think about subtraction, and we know that subtraction causes issues, but we can use the formula. It's the same idea, the change in y over the change in x. The change in y is a difference. We're subtracting, so we're going to say y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over the change in x. That's a difference, so we're going to do x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we're going to label our points x1, y1, and x2, y2. And we're going to plug those points in. So that'll give us y sub 2 is 0 minus y sub 1 is negative 1 over x sub 2 is 9 minus x sub 1 is 7. So now I have to take care of some subtraction stuff here. 0 minus a negative 1 becomes 0 plus 1, which is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2, and the slope of this line is 1/2. So with 2 points, you can use the mini table, you can use the slope formula. Most people make less mistakes with the table.